finally,
friend.
Terrance, you're going to use this mic. Terrance Woodbury,
What's up,
who
friends?
introducing, who runs Hit Strategies, a polling firm. And we reference your work constantly on Native Land Pod and the amazing work that you're doing. You're also doing polling work for this campaign for President-elect, we call her, Kamala Harris. So thank you for joining us. And thank you, we welcome you officially, thank you, Adrian, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for joining us.
Adrian's not leaving us yet.
Adrian's staying with us.
But I'm Mayor.
I'm trying to find somebody to take a picture for me. So I can
we got this.
tell my kids I was here.
We got this.
All right, we got it.
He just was trying to get his picture.
She's going to get this. She's going to do it.
Okay.
She got it for me. I appreciate y'all.
But in the meantime, sorry, I'm learning to mute these. I didn't want you to hop off, Adrian. I was looking most forward to this part of the conversation where Terrance is present and you are, in part because I feel like we got our collective start together.
Yes.
You know, like in real life.
In real life.
That's right.
Before Terrance was doing work on Andrew's campaign, I really got to know Terrance when he was working with Cornell Belcher at Brilliant Corners, and we all worked together with SEIU doing some of this same kind of work. Terrance, since then, you've done some incredible work, and even with Adrian. I would love for you all to talk about the importance of that work, the importance of that synergy. And even if y'all ain't contracted right now, because you can't, you with the official now. He big time, Adrian. He big time. Can you talk about the importance of laying that groundwork?
Absolutely. Look, me and Adrian have been on this journey for a long time, Adrian. You remember we were actually focus grouping the name Black Pack, right?
I remember
name.
that.
I had already decided that the name was Black Pack.
But I do remember that too.
That's
She
right,
said it was
that's
going
right.
to be what it's going to be.
I think in fact we had I remember one respondent in a focus group said to us when we were talking about putting together a black agenda and what it takes to put together a black agenda, and I said, well, tell me how you like it. They said, well, I mean, I just want my agenda all black. I like it like my coffee. He said, can we just call it the coffee party?
I loved that.
So here we are, and since then we have kept our finger on the pulse of black voters. We've done over 70 focus groups this year. We've conducted over 24 polls, and one thing that I was picking up early, even in the research we were doing with Black Pack, was the role that perception of power plays in how black voters perceive themselves. Look, pollsters often use a proxy like motivation or enthusiasm to determine who's actually going to vote, right? Well, one thing we've learned in these focus groups is that not all black folks are voting enthusiastically, right? I had a young man tell me in a Philadelphia focus group that voting for him is like taking out the trash. You don't always want to do it, but if you don't do it, then shit starts to stink around here.
That's
You know what I mean?
good.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
So
really good.
That young man, he don't sound like he's going to vote enthusiastically, but he's going to take the trash out on election day.
Yeah.
I love that.
And so we've been measuring perceptions of power, and here's what that looks like. We ask this question on every poll that Hit Strategies does. Regardless of how often you vote, how much power does your vote have to make a difference in your community? The higher they rate those perceptions of power, the more likely they are to vote. And what we are seeing right now in the last 4 weeks is a level of power, of collective power, that is being expressed, is being demonstrated, and I do expect that to drive us through Election Day.
I love that.
I'm curious because, I on this show often say the polls do not matter. I think they matter to campaigns. I don't think it's a healthy exercise to constantly berate the public with polls. It matters most to the candidate. I also think it's how you interpret the information from the polls. What week did you ask this question? What was the specific question asked? What did the focus group look like? Was there a black person posing these questions to a room full of white people?
That's very important.
Right. There sometimes our communicating with our communities looks very different. For people who are suspicious about the polls, who don't believe the polls, what would you say to naysayers like me and I would imagine a lot of people out there?
Look, first, I think what Tiffany means when she says that polling doesn't matter. I don't want to mansplain Tiffany at all.
Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that, brother.
Terrance, explain.
I think what Tiffany means is that polls can't tell you who's going to win today. And that is true. Polls right now are not predictive of who the winner of this is. Just because someone's up 2 points today or down 2 points tomorrow,
Don't I
that
know
ain't
it.
predict. Hello, listen.
Yeah.
And so what we are doing at His Strategies is maintaining, keeping our finger on the pulse, following that trend line, understanding what people are hearing, what's resonating and what's not. We started His Strategies to correct the record on what is being misrepresented and underrepresented in our polling, and far too often that's black folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Terrance, can I just
Please,
jump in? Right?
go
So I
ahead.
think we should talk about sample size in these polls, right? And so I think that polls are instructive, right? They help us understand what we need to do. They point out the problems that we have and how we can address them. But we know that some of the larger polls just have small sample sizes of black voters,
That's right.
And then draw conclusions about what broadly black voters think from a really tiny set of folks. And I think that that's part of the things that one of the things that people need to understand is that polls are interesting. No one should be following the polls like they're being asked to follow the polls right now, because they're actually not helpful.
That's right.
So-
I do want to tell you one thing that we're seeing in the polls right now, because, regardless of the sample size, there are some trends that are undeniable, right? And what we have seen in the last 4 weeks is the ability of Kamala Harris to consolidate the Democratic coalition more quickly than I ever imagined possible. She's doing 12 points better with women voters, 15 points better with young voters, and 22 points better with black voters. 22 points in 4 weeks. We still have work to do. I'm not ready to call her president-elect yet, because we got work
Tiffany
to do,
calling
y'all.
that says yes
It's
to
divine.
president-elect
We got
It's
work
divine.
to do,
No,
y'all,
we do have
but
work.
the trend line is going in the right way, and a lot of that is being powered by black voters.
Speaking of work, one of our favorite political worker bees, public servants extraordinaire, the only elected official to ever submit a comment to Native Land Pod, is Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, our good friend from Michigan.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
What's
What up,
up,
though, y'all?
man?
Happy to be here with you. It's such an honor and a privilege. And I was on my phone talking to y'all, and now we here at the DNC talking to y'all. It's great.
Started from the phone, now we here.
No doubt.
Yes, we're so thankful because Angela, we didn't know that you were going to come on. And Angela said, I have a surprise guest coming on, and we saw you. We were thrilled to have you.
Thank
This
you.
is so exciting. I want to ask, because I remember when Big Gretch, as we call her affectionately, who I believe we will see
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
So
Okay.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer out of Michigan will be joining us tomorrow. But I remember covering your campaign from a distance, seeing you're the first black lieutenant governor.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
So all these historic candidates who have ascended to power at this time, and we've been consistently asking people, as another historic candidate, what does this moment mean to you to be serving in government when the country is poised to be led by a black woman?
It is incredibly inspiring. Look, Kamala Harris, she has made history in every single victory that she has. And I think what that's a demonstration of is she's never won alone. She has always thought about how to create more space and opportunity to kick these doors down so more of us can walk through them. And all of us who are in elected service, we should have that same kind of energy. And so for me, I don't want to be amazing. I don't want to be singular. I want to be the door opener. I want to be the person who inspires the next person to go even farther, who's even hungrier and more ambitious. Just like Tupac said, right? You ain't got to be scared about me. You got to worry about the one coming after me.
Right.
They're not going to ask no questions, right?
Yeah.
I think the same kind of thing needs to be the kind of just spirit that we bring to this service, that, we can make things happen, that when we organize and we work together, we can bring everybody into the conversation, everybody to the table, everybody to the room. And when we include more people in decision making, we make better choices.
I love that.
Love that.
Lieutenant Governor, when you are, we all heard early on in y'all's administration the whole plot to, I guess, kidnap the governor and all this kind of insane stuff that's happening in the state of Michigan. I'm curious to know, as a brother, as you go out to various parts of the state, I'm assuming showing up in places where you're not expected, but you remind them that you're the governor for the entire state.
That's right.
Not just for a portion of the state. How are you received? How do you find yourself being able to talk to folks who not are just ideologically different, but as people may reject your very being?
Yeah.
What does that feel like? What is that like? And how do you, if it's possible to bridge, how do you go about bridging?
So, unfortunately, I have experienced the same level of death threat to me, to my family. Look, we had the pregame for January 6th on April 30th of 2020 in the state of Michigan. In the weeks after that, there were men with long guns that lined the sidewalks that walked up to the Capitol, where I had to go to preside over the state Senate. I'm walking through there like it's the starting lineup, at a basketball game. We walk through and everybody's on the side. So unfortunately, I've had to deal with that, suspicious packages under my vehicles, these kinds of things, that mailer sent to my home, my parents' home being swatted last week. Like, these kinds of things happen. But To answer your question, Andrew, when I go to places like Escanaba, Michigan, which is in the western part of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, I was there this past Thursday for the UP State Fair to talk to farmers about why they need to have access to a dream of health and wealth, just like everybody else in Michigan needs to have access to that dream. They say thank you because they don't expect a 6'8" dark-skinned brother from Detroit to be up there asking them questions about rabbits and ducks.
Yeah.
Right. And chickens. But I also go to the Upper Peninsula more than any state elected official has gone to the Upper Peninsula in 20 years. I'm up there 4 times a year for multiple days. That's because I think all of us need to understand that we are all in this together. I think that's the biggest difference, frankly, between us and our opponents, that their vision for the future is so small that it can't include all of us. It can't include black folks. It can't include women. It can't include young people. It can't include elders. It can't include the LGBTQ plus community. And so by showing up, you show people that you respect them enough to serve them. And I think you got to respect people to serve them.
I love that.
I just want to say people are shouting you out. All the people joining us, thank you all for watching at home. But they're saying they love Garland Gilchrist, but they're saying he might be in Michigan, but he has Bullitt County, Alabama roots. Can you confirm or deny those words?
That's right. No doubt
What's
about it. Look.
Go ahead and rep your set.
Hey, yeah, my mother's people are from Union Springs, Alabama. I spent about a month every summer as a kid playing in the red dirt down there in Alabama. And so that's all good. That's all good.
They know, our YouTube fans told us
Your
that.
people know.
I love it. Well, we are so grateful to all of you. We started the show with Latasha Brown talking about building Black Power.
Yeah.
It is so poetic and so necessary and divine that we're talking about that at the close of our show. Adrian Sharpshire with Black Pack. Y'all visit blackpack.com. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist and our friend Terrance Woodbury from
The
Hip
poll
Strategy.
man.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
The poll guy that gets it right every time. The coffee party, the black party, all the things. We love it. But yes, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. We can't wait to celebrate with y'all this week.
Here, here.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Let's
guys.
make it happen.
Thank you,
Happy
y'all.
history makers.
Welcome home, baby.
Welcome
Let's
home,
bring it home,
y'all.
Andrew.
Bring it home, man.
We'll see
Bring
y'all
it home. All the way.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, indeed. We'll see
Man, I got to tell y'all, Angela, Tiff, what a incredible set of guests
Should Angela
today.
come over here? I feel like she's.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, why don't you put that all down and get over